fa re se senyegile gompieno ana se se diragalang motho o dirisa cell phone ya gagwe a be ile gore ga ile gore o scanner mo re digital QR code ga go scanner gone go ntsha form ya reporta mo gone mo sa phone ya gagwe ga sena go dira yalo yo ko officing yo le gore o rulaganya ditiro tse gore di ya go mang di ya go mang o bona gone go gore go reportilwe se
go rotloetsa le go tshwaraganya badiri ba mohama wa tlhokomelo dikago go tla thusa go ba tiisa
mo nako ya gompieno wetso re tlolela jalo ka kwa Amerika ko tautona a buisanang jalo mo phuthegong ya papadi le peeletso.
Habiyamana from the hills of Rwanda. Let me begin by thanking the organizers of this important event, the African Women's Entrepreneurship Program, the United States Department of Commerce Commercial Law Development Program, the African Women and Youth Empowerment Group, and of course, the Corporate Council on Africa. Distinguished guests, Chair Lewis, Madam Flory, and ministers present, Deputy Prime Minister, it's a pleasure for me to be here this morning. And we, the women of Africa, are pleased to be on shore to meet our counterpart women in the US. I say we the women of Africa because I believe every man has a woman in him. Yes? You all agree with me that women's participation in trade at local and international levels can boost their contribution to sustainable economic development. It can also reduce gender disparities by affording women more employment opportunities throughout Africa, including in my own country, in Botswana. Many women, despite their important roles as heads of households and pillars of their communities, face the challenge of poverty. Empowering these exceptional women to become successful entrepreneurs is a fitting way to enhance their livelihoods. According to the African Development Bank, millions of people across Southern Africa, predominantly women and girls, engage in informal cross-border trade, shouldering heavy burdens and navigating bureaucratic hurdles just to make ends meet. Estimated at $17.6 billion, this trade constitutes a significant portion of the intra-regional commerce, yet the women driving it often face exploitation and violence with little, if any, recourse. As African countries, we have pinned our hopes on the African Continental Free Trade Area, at least to ease these bureaucratic hurdles and provide a robust legal framework for conducting intra-regional trade. The World Bank has estimated that the AFCTA will boost Africa's income by $450 billion and increase intra-Africa exports by over 81% by 2035. In my own native country, Botswana, the government is committed to strengthening women's participation in the continental economy by ensuring that there is greater public procurement earmarked for women-owned businesses. In addition, the government, in collaboration with the UN Women, has been implementing an International Labour Organization certified training on Start and Improve Your Business since 2019. This initiative specifically targets women micro-entrepreneurs in remote areas. I'm delighted that the program is yielding the desired results, and some of the women have expanded their businesses, indicating potential for graduation to medium-scale enterprises. It's worth mentioning that as economies develop and new trends arise in the global trade arena, significant and promising opportunities are constantly emerging for women. Thus, it is crucial to provide them with the essential skills and education to ensure their resilience and adaptability. In this regard, it is imperative that countries adopt transformative trade reforms that deliberately reduce all forms of discrimination against women and promote building the women human capital. It's also important that in our endeavor to leave no one behind, and in our effort to close the glaring gender disparities in global trade, we adopt appropriate and effective policies and strategies at various levels within the trade sphere. This, I believe, will be the surest way possible for closing the gender gap. I note with appreciation the adoption of the Buenos Aires Declaration on Women's Economic Empowerment by the World Trade Organization in December 2017. This continues to motivate governments to mainstream gender in trade, including in cross-country trade agreements. It is critical that as gendered mainstreaming commitments advance, we constantly review progress by collecting gender disaggregated data to inform trade commitments to women. It is common knowledge that there are a number of challenges facing women entrepreneurs in Africa. These are, but not limited to, access to the market. Another is access to appropriate finance that can facilitate trade. Lack of capacity building resulting in poor quality of products and services, and inability to meet supply demands in terms of quantity and quality. I believe that AWEP and other initiatives need to intentionally tailor-make support programs that are well suited to women. These should have a developmental approach aimed at growing women's SME to large and competitive global businesses, which will contribute to sustainable development and economic growth. In conclusion, I'd like to reiterate the statement made by our Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres. On the occasion of the 2024 International Women's Day, he stated that, and I quote, "We must support women's organizations on the front line, and we must invest in programs to end violence against women and to drive women's inclusion and leadership in economies, digital technologies, peace building, and climate action. This all depends on unlocking finance for sustainable development so that countries have funds available to invest in women and girls," close quote. I therefore urge all of us to adopt a 360-degree policy shift as we deliberately open space for women to equally participate in international trade. This, I believe, will accelerate our efforts towards realizing Agenda 2030, where we have inclusive trade, gender equality, sustainable development, and yes, zero poverty. Thank you for your attention. Tiana?
Wetso eo ene le tautona jalo ka ko America kwa phuthegong e tsweletse mo nakong ya gompieno ga re tswelela tona wa thuto le tlhabolodikitso Dr. Douglas Lesolathebe o kgothaletse dikolo tsa ithuto le ditiro go inakanya le diphetogo tse di tlang ka tiriso ya maranyane mo mogameng wa thuto jaaka botsipa jwa artificial intelligence jo bonang le kitso ka go dira sengwe le sengwe o buile se kwa phuthegong ya dithuto tse di kgolwane ya mafatshe e neng e tshwere e lela ntlhabono ga borone e rulagantsweng ke sekolo se se golwane sa Botswana Open University ke letleletswe Somolakae.
Phutego e nengwe ke le baemedi ba mafatshe a kgaolo ya Afrika a le 10 go ba fa sebaka sa go nna le dipuisano tse di tseneletseng ka methale e kgatlhisang ya go ruta go dira botsalano mo mogameng le go tsenya leitlho tiriso ya maranyane a mašwa go tsholetsa boleng jwa thuto. Go atologa ga dikolo tsa ithutelo ditiro go inakanya le dinako le maranyane a mašwa go tlisa ditlhabololo mo thutong go kailwe e le konokono.
Gone are the days of static textbooks and rigid schedules. Today, we are witnessing a surge in technological innovations, transforming how learners engage with knowledge. From interactive online platforms, mobile learning implications, artificial intelligence. I want to repeat that, Prof. Artificial intelligence. Technology is opening new avenues for effective and engaging ODL experiences. We are indeed witnessing a new era in ODM. Professors, lecturers, they will agree with me that nowadays AI got its advantages and also disadvantages.
We aim to